Hi guys, good afternoon. I'm Sienna Gibson and I'm here with Nerose Anise for our first episode of For Love and Freedom. And we're really excited to start this, and I hope you guys are excited as we are. So, yeah, we're really just going to get into like Nerose's story and my own passions as well, and I guess cross sharing those different passions and how they overlap, and I guess giving you guys inspiration and insight into what we can do um, for in terms of like bettering everyone's human rights and yeah, learning from Nerose's story. So Nerose, if you want to start off about your journey and
First of all, I must say I'm very blessed to be here on this beautiful sunny day in good company with Siana. And look, I've been writing my book, and you guys have been like the source of my strength and resilience through 5 years of brutal arbitrary detention. And speaking to the publishers, one of the things I always struggled with was like I documented everything in notes, but some issues are so traumatic. I mean, about 80-90% of the things which are of serious public interest haven't made it public yet. And my issue was like, I mean, I was struggling to like revisit those experiences starting from 5th of October 2016 when um, I returned home from work, had made, you know, had a penthouse, made a home for myself with my blood and sweat, and functioning member of the public, like an everyday Australian. And came home from work, was getting ready for go to gym. Knock knock, someone's on the door. Australian Border Force, like 7, 8 of them. And I was just in shock, like I was lost for words. And um, they came into my house as if they own it. They were walking on my carpet, like looking at my personal pictures on the wall, like it was violation of every single international and local law. It was similar to what the Nazis were doing back in the German Nazi era, like just picking up the Jews and throwing them in concentration camps. So from that day till like 5 years of arbitrary detention, it is like, as we were talking earlier, in the morning, that there are two important days, as they say, in a person's life. The first day when they are born, and the second one when they find out why, what's the purpose of their life. And
yeah,
the experiences I had in arbitrary detention, like I survived them because of God Almighty and the good support, like of good Australians like yourself. Every single one of them with boots on the ground. I mean, I have a list of people I still have to thank for their financial, moral, and the campaigns those people run. I mean, if I have to mention names, it'll be going on for 3 hours. So, I mean, you people are very dear to me, are very close to me, and that's like the issue, that when I see injustice, I can't just look the other way, because not just I won't be able to be at peace with my consciousness, but all you people put your trust in me and your faith in me, and I would never want to let you down. And the thing is that, taking up a resistance against the most powerful corrupt regime like the Department of Minister of Home Affairs, who, is in the public domain, how much has been subjecting me to political persecution. I mean, obviously, a lot of people, told me to just stay silent. I was like, nah, everything I love, they took it away from me. Everything. Just got my voice left, and they're not going to take it away from me. And, the biggest thing was, I'm not afraid of death anymore. Everybody dies someday. I mean, nothing lasts forever, neither good nor bad times. Like, I've experienced that firsthand, that materialistic things can't buy you happiness. It's the love you create in other people's heart.
just going off from what you were speaking about earlier with the concentration camps, the Holocaust. Based on my own study in philosophy, I learned a lot about how the main issue wasn't actually with the fact that they had no rights, but I guess the root, the genesis of the issue is that they were stateless. So I think that's a really big, like a really, I guess, important factor that we need to consider today, is that a lot of people are stateless, refugees, they don't have a home, and that creates issues about, you know, what constitution do they follow, what kind of rights to, you know, protect these people. And I guess looking to the Holocaust, when people don't have, you know, a higher, I guess, force to kind of look to for rights and protection, it can result in, you know, people abusing their power, so hence the Holocaust, the horrible concentration camps, and even today, you know, these sorts of things are still coming up, you know. So I think that, you know, speaking from what Narose was saying about how, you know, he had people coming in his home, you know, invading his rights. So it's definitely still a very prominent issue, and that issue of statelessness is something that we need to address in terms of what kind of rights do we have in place for people that don't have, you know, a home or a constitution to look to, and even if they do, you know, are those rights in their best interest, and, you know, because of all the kinds of corruption that we have, you know, in our constitutions already. So that's a whole other issue as well. So yeah, we definitely, you know, can look at the Holocaust as I guess you could call it a cautionary tale, because, you know, our history is super important, and it can definitely guide us in the future. But it's also, I guess, a warning of, you know, humanity's potential for something so horrific. So
100%.
yeah.
I mean, that's why we study history in school, don't we? That we don't repeat the mistakes we made before. And I mean, before the Christchurch shooter thing even happened, people can go back on my Twitter. I was the first one to write about the far right terrorism threat we face. And it still beggars my belief that, you know, with the Department of Home Affairs and with all the Five Eyes, with all the surveillance they've got, they couldn't, or they didn't knew about the Christchurch shooter, like traveling all the way to New Zealand, buying weapons and live bloody broadcasting. So the issue is there's like so much behind the scenes stuff which you guys need to know, which your government is doing under your name, using your taxpayer money. And the reason they're persecuting me is because I'm going to expose that come what may, and they want to make an example out of me. And that's why they've been subjecting me to political victimization. So the issue, as I said, nothing lasts forever. What lasts is, like, under the circumstances, what moral stance you took. I mean, did you stick by the morals? Did you stick, you know, by your principles? I mean, there's an old saying from the World War II that when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. So we don't want injustice to become law. That's why we need to reach out to all our Australian family and get them to vote the right people into the parliament, because these people are going to make up the legislations which is going to directly affect our lives. And I reckon when I was in arbitrary detention, like, you know, a lot of people said that, like, hey, you know, we already have too many human rights in Australia. They're like, oh, it's not happening to us. It never happened to us. And then it happened to them in their own ways. And they're like, all of a sudden started crying human rights. I say, water under the river, let's unite under the matter of human rights, that we need a charter of fundamental human rights. And as there is a saying from a movie called Charlie Wilson's War, that, I mean, like, I don't remember the exact words, but the effect of that was that education, like, its end game is important. And I mean, like, having that right to say, I mean, we're two people, for example, sitting here, Sienna and Rose, but legally there's a shitload of difference on Australian soil right now. So look at her hands, Sienna. I think I'm more wider than you, but anyways.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so we, like, you know, different, almost the same, you know, but I'm not even considered a human under Australian law currently, because as George Brendis argued in the High Court of Australia back in 2015-16, I beg your pardon, 2017, in the Falzone case that the human rights enshrined in the Constitution don't necessarily extend to non-citizens. So, like, as in, unless you're an Australian citizen, one second, let me check if it's recording. Yes, it is. I'll edit it out. Sweet. So unless you're an Australian citizen, you're not considered a human. I mean, in what way is this not a repeat of Nazi Germany? Like, I'm considered a property. Let that sink in. So, but I must appreciate with the bottom of my heart the strength Sienna has shown in her leadership role and in such a young age, the strong moral compass she has. This needs to be appreciated. And you know, my followers, my family, you guys know I always tell the truth, like, you know, how harsh or how bad or how good it is. And I can tell you now that, you know, if you got one person to, you know, thank to support me right now, that's Sienna Gibson, who has literally been keeping me alive. And you know, we look forward to obviously starting sharing our stories on 3 episodes a week and with 30 minutes. And again, it's for 18-year plus. And if trauma triggers causes any triggers, I would caution getting calling Beyond Blue. So please subscribe. And we are a grassroots level movement, me and Sienna. So please support us on patreon.com/Rose. And most importantly, if you care about me, please thank Sienna. Sienna?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for the first episode, and I hope you guys are here for the next ones to come. You know, there's so much more to talk about, and I'm really excited to, you know, share each other's stories, I guess, and really look into Neurose's past as well, because I still have a lot to learn as well. So I'm with you guys through this, and yeah, thank you guys for listening.
We'll see you guys very soon. Thank you.
Bye.